Hi there, today I'm going to share with you my sewing plans. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing I've got to show you is a top which I know is quite popular amongst other sewists out there. It's the Isla top from Tasuti Patterns. It's a really nice top, this, and a very interesting construction. I made one up last month in some plain t-shirting that was sitting in my stash, made up as is, the size that it should have been. Not, I've said so many times before, not a wearable toile, made as is to see if it would fit, if it needed to be adjusted in any way. But the top that I have will be fine for wearing indoors if the fit wasn't as it should be. So it turned out it was too big, but a good little top for knocking about the house in. But this is it. This is a line drawing. So you've got the front, and these sleeves wrap around, and then you've got this other back piece. A very interesting construction. Really like it. And it means that you've got a lot of drape to the it's quite boxy, I suppose, but a really nice pattern to make up. Very interesting, very quick. And I got this fabric back in the summer or late summer from So Much Sunshine, dead stock. I think it was So Much Sunshine. I'm pretty sure it was. But it's this, I shared it, it must have been the summer. I shared it in the summertime. I have to get fabrics with big cats on them because my mum absolutely loved a big cat and always reminds me of her. But I did not want to break up. It's directional. So obviously I was limited as to what I could make with it. And I didn't want to break up these gorgeous faces. So this pattern is ideal. You can see what the pattern piece is like, and this just goes around the back. Really clever. So that's the first top I'm planning to make. And then the next one is what I'm wearing now. This is the Pattern Emporium. Let's have a look. What are we called? It's called the Pattern Emporium Unwind sweater. Have I got the pattern? Here we go. And it's brilliant. There's lots of. This is just the plain variation, just a crew neck. But you also get this one, which is the hoodie. Fabulous in so much as it caters for shorter people, medium people, tall people. So there are different lengths with regards to the pattern pieces, and because of that, and I'm losing track here. Let me start again. You've got 3 length options, which you can either stick to. You know, if you're short, then you make the short version, medium version, which is the regular, or the long. Or if you happen to want a really long top, then you just make the long. I chose to make the short version, which sits just above my knees. My knees would be in a funny place if they were where it's sitting, just above my hips. And as you can see, it's a it's not quite a rag, well, I suppose it is a raglan, but essentially it's 2 pieces. So this piece, front piece and back piece, there's a one pattern piece, but you get what do you call it, cutting lines for the front part, the hood, which is 2 pieces, cuffs, and then there's a hemband. So that I'm going to make out of this gorgeous fabric I got from First Fabrics again. If you saw my autumn winter makes already, you will have seen the other colour version of this fabric, and it's this lighter one. Now, I know it's got colour in it, but it just smacks of winter white, although, as I say, it's got splashes of colour. And I really liked it for that reason. And it's just so soft and snuggly, this fabric. But it's not too thick, so it keeps you warm, but without being a really heavy layer. So I decided, when I was cutting it out, I wasn't sure what I'm going to make it up as. So I've cut it all out, bar the hood, and then when I make it up, I'll decide and try it on. I'll decide there and then whether I'm going to make a hood or not. I think I will do the hood because it's just such a cosy fabric. I think that would be really nice. And then, did I move? There we go. Then the next thing I'm going to make is, if you've been around the sewing community for a while, you, especially if you're a Brit, but that's not excluding anyone else that's not a Brit, you will know the Tilly and the Buttons Coco pattern, which is one of my tried and trues. I've never made it as the dress, but I've made it as the top many times. This is it. So you can see, obviously that's the dress version, and then you've got top, which is identical. There's a little optional pocket, which I don't bother with, and pockets there. But you've either got the neckband, which is I suppose it's folded over, but 2 inches, or you can sew over. Now, I've cut out the neckband. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it with the neckband. I've always made them with the neckband, but I really do fancy a plain boat neck. And the fabric that I've used for that is, I got this towards the end of the summer, and it was from the lovely Andrea at Beyond the Pink Door, and it's this beautiful, so I've already cut the neckband out, and it's this beautiful, I don't know how you describe it, a floral and a bird print, but I just loved the turquoises, and then those pops of lemon, and then the birds. And I do like a bird on fabric, especially if it's a pretty bird. I'd coveted this fabric for ages. She had it on site for most of the summer. I coveted it for a long while, and then I thought, if it's still there at the end of summer, I'm going to get it and put it away for next summer. I know I'm making this now, but I'm sort of trying to be a little bit mindful of the next season. I don't know about you, but I find it very hard to sew ahead. I tend to sew in the moment, so it's winter time, and all I want to sew are wintry things, and then come the summer, I've got nothing new that I'd like to wear. I mean, I've got lots of decent tops and clothes that I've made over the years that are still very wearable, but you know what it's like. It's nice to have something new. So I'm sort of a little bit ahead of myself, but I'm quite pleased about that. And what's really nice about these colours are the bright sort of jewel tones were in for the winter season, but it looks like they're in for the summer, not your usual pastels. Again, the brights, and I think that's maybe a punch in the face to what's been going on in the world for the last 2 years. You know, people just want some colour and not grey news and grey clothes, if you understand what I'm saying. So that one's cut out and ready. And then the last one I've had for the longest time in my stash. Can I turn you around? You keep, there we go. I'm not in the middle. I've had for the longest time in my stash, and it's a combat jacket. It's a simplistic pattern. It's a combat style jacket pattern that came out 3 years ago. I bought it. I bought the twill, the cotton twill, which is a dark army green, at about the same time to make this jacket, and it's just sat in my, I have a well, it's a laundry, a foldable laundry bag that I put all my fabrics that I intend to work on throughout the season and the pattern that's going to go with. And it's been getting slowly more and more to the bottom, and I think it's partly because it was just dreading tracing it out because of all the pieces that go with. But I traced out a linen jacket that I'm going to make for Carl a couple of months back now, and it had far more pieces, so I thought I can't put it off anymore. And again, I'm thinking ahead to the summer season, because this is an unlined jacket, it's cotton, so it's not going to be warm, but it's going to be one of those nice throwovers with jeans and a t-shirt or even a skirt. And it's this one, you might know this one, Simplicity 8700. And what I liked about it, I mean, it's one of their hacking patterns, and if you're someone that's sewn for a long while and someone that likes to hack, as I certainly do, then it's actually not rocket science to do these hacks. However, not everyone has been sewing for a long while, is afraid perhaps of cutting up a pattern or changing pattern pieces and then either ruining the pattern or not getting the looks that they thought they would get. So I think these, especially for beginner sewers or people that are, I suppose what's one of those corporate-y type sayings, colouring outside the lines. If you're afraid of colouring outside the lines, this is a really good pattern. So you've got actually quite a few versions. You've got this one that's got sort of a frilly sleeve. I don't like that personally. I think it's a bit twee. But then I am 60 years old and I don't think I could get away with that. And although I do like a little frill on the bottom of a blouse, again, for a jacket, I am not sure. So there's just a plain longer version, which I think comes sort of about midway across your bottom. And then there's this one, which has got a drawstring from a casing that's inside the jacket. I don't know if, and I think they might have actually put some decorations, but again, that's what they've done. Now I'm going to make that version, but with all the pockets, because I wanted it to look as army-like as possible. And the other thing I've got, I mean, you can see here the buttons. I bought some metal buttons. It took me ages to find metal sew-on buttons, but I've got all the buttons, the bigger ones for the jacket and then the smaller ones for the epaulettes, ages and ages ago. And I thought, right, I'm going to do this. And I was having a mega cutting out session. So that's the last thing on my plans. So I'm going to start with the t-shirts first, because they're nice and quick, and then I shall work on the jacket. And I'm really looking forward to that, because it'd be nice to make something a little bit more not tailored, because it isn't tailored, but something a little bit more structured, I suppose, out of a woven. If, like me, you've put on a little bit of Christmas weight, I think just making tops is actually quite a good option to keep on sewing, because you can't have enough sort of throw-on tops, because we tend to wear those, you know, once and then they're in the wash. So it's nice to have a nice selection of tops, and they're a nice quick make, and they're not they're Christmas. I've put on £5 to £7 weight. They're actually not user friendly, but body friendly. So that, and this is quite a short video for me. That is what I'm going to be making, hopefully in the next month or so. Nice to talk to you again. See you soon. Bye.